And we're live. Good morning, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude. Freddie Blanton, I see you looking at my intro. What do you think
That
of the very...
immediately took me to minute to win it. I was trying to figure out what task I had to complete as fast as I could.
Hey, we're going to stretch out that intro and really put some things together. But hey, I am so excited, folks. This is something I've wanted to do for a very long time now. And it's really about getting great people together in the backstage area right now. We've got 6 guests, and all of them are fantastic folks that we have met through the years. And we're going to come together and have a great business discussion. What do you think, Fred? You excited?
I am pumped up because look at the people that's waiting.
Exactly.
We got a wide
variety of perspectives, and it's something that I have learned through the years. When you have a wide variety of business folks, you get such parity, you get so many different perspectives, and you get energy. Me and you, it's what, 327 days now that we've been starting the day out with some positive energy. How has that been for Freddie Blanton?
To show up Monday through Friday at 7:55 and have to participate in a live show with the average dude.
Hey, come on. That sounds fantastic.
Torture. It's like having my toenails ripped off one by one. No, I'm just kidding. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been great for me too. And Freddie's been an incredible co-host. I want to thank you for being just that. And really, Freddie, you're also, you sell Bobcats, obviously. We see your shirt. You've been selling Bobcats. How long have you been selling Bobcat compact construction equipment?
I have been at this location for 21 years.
21 years.
Started when I was 15.
You about got it figured out now, right?
We're getting close, man. The industry changes all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Somebody's always trying to come out with a better skid steer or a faster excavator. But at the end of the day, it's still a people game.
It's still a people game. And that is something we're going to be talking a lot about today. If you're in the comments and you got some questions for these folks, please let us know. Our first guest, without further ado, is one of our longtime watchers of First Sip, someone who owns Red Wing Shoes right here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. He also owns a second store in the Tennessee area, Red Wing Shoes. Tell me what you think when you think Russ Hammond, Fred Blanton.
I think extreme customer service, Russ Hammond.
I love that answer. Here's Russ. Welcome to the Hub, Russ Hammond.
Red Wing Shoes, let's go.
Let's go.
Russ.
Hey,
Good morning.
Let me just say this. If you're not going into the location and putting on a pair of Red Wing shoes with that entire environment, that's a big deal, isn't it, Russ?
It is. And we don't just sell work shoes. We also sell some women's boots. We sell orthotics. We're about to start selling shirts and sweatshirts in about 2 weeks. So we're branching out a little bit, but come see me just to say hi. If nothing else, that's fine.
I love it. Fred, you got something?
The other day I was in there and there was a guy in there buying some, was it snake boots?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Hey, I know who it was. And I know that man dropped some money on them boots. Those were the real deal. And I said, I don't know if I want to be anywhere where I have to wear snake boots.
What is the most amount of money somebody spent on a pair of boots, Russ?
On just a single pair, what's the most amount of money somebody spent at one time?
Both.
So a single pair, I guess our most expensive boot now is about $550. Most of those type boots are more in the $350 range. And the biggest one receipt I've had is about $1,700 or $1,800.
Wow. That's fantastic. Hey, we've got some great people left backstage. We got to get them in here. Next, our next guest, a real hero, Fred, someone that's on the energy bus, someone that's had great energy since the first time I've met him. Fred, what do you think when you think Mr. Aaron Jacobitz?
I think of the logo behind him, just without the beard.
I love it. The hero. Here he is, Aaron Jacobitz, to the stage.
Good morning, gentlemen. How's everything going? Welcome.
Good morning.
So glad to be on the energy hub by way of the energy bus.
That's right. That's right. We get everybody to the hub
Hey,
via the bus.
Quick question, Russ. Here's what I need to know. I don't care what it's made of. Where can I find the boots that'll make me 6'4" and skinny? That's what I want to know.
I'm listening also.
That's what you need. That's what you need. Quickly tell the folks, Aaron, what Aaron Jacobitz is all about with Refrigeration Heroes, please.
Yeah, so I'm the sales and marketing director for Refrigeration Heroes. We do everything commercial. If it's supposed to get cold and stay cold, we can do it. If it's supposed to get hot and stay hot, we can do it, and a lot in between. So I actually head up the department with the outside sales folks, the inside sales folks, and the marketing. So really going out finding those new customers, but then also taking the customers that we have and how can we make sure that they have success. Because when we can have success, they can have success at those locations. So extremely passionate about that.
You do a fantastic job. Your team does a fantastic job. I've heard from a lot of facility managers that you and I have talked with about your attention to detail and doing the right thing. Great to have you on the bus. Our next guest, Vicki Watts. When I think about Vicki, I think about someone who is out here doing all the right things, right? She works hard. She wants to serve others. She wants to collaborate. She wants to build others up. She's like reading another little post. So I want to thank Vicki for being on the bus. Freddie Blanton, what do you think about Vicki? What comes to mind when you think about Vicki Watts?
I think about consistency, right? Even she typically shows up, but she's always involved. She's always in the comments. And I know if she's not there, she's taking care of business somewhere else.
Absolutely. And here she is, Vicki Watts.
Full of technical difficulties today, guys. Thanks so much.
It happened.
Hey, I kept looking down. I said, I hope that Vicki's able to make it. And so when I saw you pop in, that was great. So now we've got three more folks that we're going to invite into the hub. We've all kind of known each other through the energy bus, the first sip, and that sort of thing. But then it starts spreading. We start meeting new people. And I know just here recently, Vicki and this next guest, Mr. Chip Keller of the Keller Group. And I had a chance to go over to his ribbon cutting ceremony along with Mr. Jacobitz. Yeah. And that was such a great experience being around folks. Chip's done accounting for a long time. Now he's starting this KG Pay and just being a part of this growing company. It's been exciting. Great to get to know Chip. So, Chip, welcome to the hub, my friend.
Gotta bring energy.
Hey, and we'll get you there. We'll get you there. Hey, let me ask you this, Chip. How long have you been doing the accounting? How long have you been in business?
I've been doing accounting for 30 years, but I've owned this company for the last 10. So we just had our 10
year, and you're still growing. That's the thing. You've started this KG Pay. Tell us about that decision to continue to grow.
Well, we did payroll as an accommodation to our clients. We said, well, we don't want to do things as an accommodation. This is a good business, and we're going to focus on this business, and we're going to put the energy into it and let it be its own thing, so we can focus on it and be more intentional. I
love that. So we've got one more guest that we're going to invite up, and we've got some Southerners here. And I thought, I've got a network through LinkedIn, and I've met some great people all over the country, really. As a matter of fact, I've been to Wrigley Field, and it's because of my next guest, Mr. Jim Carr, owner of Carr Machine and Tool, who I got to see the city of Chicago with. So Jim Carr, welcome to the Hub.
All right. Go Cubs.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
Man, Daniel, you definitely have the energy. I think you branded this perfectly. I think it's going to suit you extremely well, and it's great to meet some new friends here. I'm no stranger to the camera, as you know, and my voice has been out there for a long time. So great to join you.
Well, I thought it would be a great perspective to bring someone in. You've owned this business for a long time. It's a generational business. Tell us quickly about Carr Machine and Tool and where you are in that business trajectory.
Absolutely. My dad founded the company 53 years ago. I have been with the company for more than a handful of decades. It's the only career I've ever had, so I certainly know it like the back of my hand. My son joined the company full-time in 2014, and we put a plan together for growth. We do aerospace machining and manufacturing. We service the defense, aerospace, and space sciences industries. We make all kinds of cool parts that go up into outer space for our defense program, and we're having a record year.
I love it. You know, we have folks that's been doing it a long time. You started knee high to a grasshopper, right? And
a little bigger than that.
and here we go. Our final guest, someone that I met down here at the clubhouse, which is going to be our in-person spot here in Spartanburg. When we do this in person, we're going to do that at the clubhouse here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And it's just great. I met someone who's been in Spartanburg. I've never met him before. He's ran a successful business. He's been a home builder for many years, and he has some very exciting technology that he needs some smart people to know about, and we can all help Doug how to get this in the right hands of folks. So Doug, welcome to the Hub.
Good morning. Nice to meet everyone.
Yes. And so we've got a full house here. We've got 8 folks, and Doug, it's certainly last but not least, tell us a little bit about your career and what you're up to now.
So I moved out here from Nebraska eons ago and ended up becoming a home builder out here in South Carolina. And I've been building homes for 30 years now. And through those 30 years, every home seems to always have its tries and troubles, and it's a struggle for not only the builder, but the home buyers. You know, they might do this once in their lifetime. I do it every day. So we've developed some software called Builder Rocket, and we can go in now and in 15 minutes, we can spec out every detail of that customer's homes. So they see the brick and the lighting and the plumbing fixtures. They see everything they're going to get for their money. And it just changes the dynamic of the home building.
I absolutely love that. And I want to use that and kind of get some comments from everyone with that particular thought. No matter what business we're in, getting everyone on the same page is a big deal. And what Doug has here is something that really clarifies the scope of work and what's included so that everybody's working off the same sheet of music. Aaron Jacobitz, when you go out and you're doing maintenance proposals and things of that nature, how important is to make sure that the scope of work matches on both ends?
Well, first of all, I'll just start out by saying between Jim and Doug, like all we do is fix refrigerators. So they're aerospace and this new technology. So it's super impressive. But no, it matters. It matters a lot. And I think the biggest thing is, you know, when we talk about it makes me think of this. When we talk about customer service, we think about not only getting that new customer, but we also think about how do we keep that customer. And so to me, I think a lot of times when it comes to churn, when we talk about customers churning and us losing customers or them not doing as much business with us, you know, usually it's a promise problem, not a product problem, in my experience. And so when you're on the same page and everybody's reading out of that same manual, and all the departments and all of the department heads and the folks that make up those departments, when they're all, you know, rowing in the same direction towards that customer experience, how that customer feels, I think it's very important. And like Doug said, to be able to have some of those feelings that you get as a homeowner, to be able to see that that early in the process, I mean, I would assume your customers, not only are they going to be a first time customer, Doug, but their next homes, I mean, you have a very good shot at getting. So I'd be interested what you think about that. But that's what I think of.
Yeah. Hey, what about Jim Carr? I'd love to. When you think, I know that when I was up there, you showed me some really complicated. You're working for some folks that have very strict guidelines. And so talk about making sure that you're on the same page and maybe speak to what Doug has there as far as home builders getting on the same page with the home buyer.
Well, as we all know, it is a people business, right? People do business with people they like and trust, right? So that's what we have to do. And yes, what we do is we're making precision parts that might have an astronaut's life in. We are in control of a part that could potentially, control the astronaut's life. If that part isn't made correctly, that guy's in outer space and the ship blows up, and guess what? That's not cool. But we can if you pull a piece of hair off your head, that'll measure 0.008. We can cut that in half 5 times. That's the kind of tolerance we can make parts to. Making holes, making outside, close tolerance, really tight stuff. We have inspection equipment that is measuring that to that type of tolerance. And that's the evolution of the business. And also, you've seen the robotic technology. We are really having a skilled workforce shortage right now. And the only way that we're going to sustain this skilled workforce shortage is by automating our shops, working 24 hours a day, but only having staff for 8 hours a day. The robots take the raw material, load it into the machine, it cuts the part, pulls it out, puts another one in, and we go all night long. I
like it. Chip, let me ask you, number one, have you ever had to work with a home builder to build a home?
Yes, I built a custom home 30 years ago. There wasn't any technology. I don't even think there was, I don't even think there was internet back then. But I worked with a great custom home builder, and we're still in the home nowadays. We're and great craftsmen, so we're not going anywhere. So
I like that. Let's talk to Chip Keller. Chip, how about you? When you hear about something like this, something to help clarify scope of work, getting everyone on the same page, what comes to mind?
Well, I think, the industry I'm in is not real good about that sometimes. And somebody comes in the door and they got something they need done. And I think the old way of working, we just picked it. We said, okay, I'll call you when it's done. And then the client opens up the invoice and that is what it is. Well, that's not fun. If you've ever worked with a lawyer, that's stressful because that clock is just going like this. And it's the same thing. So we said, all right, we're not going to do that anymore. And we said, we're going to get real good about scope of work. Like in Jim's business, that's really important. It was not so important for us to be able to get started because we generally know, but now we try and give a price on everything up front. It eliminates confusion. It makes you look more organized in front of your potential clients when you're quoting them that way. So here's the cost of everything we're going to do for you for the next year. And they love it because there's no surprise.
I love that. Fred, I'm gonna ask my co-host, Mr. Fred Blanton. Fred, what do you think in your world dealing with homeowners and you deal with a lot of homeowners and home builders, I should say.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is this is a small world. So before I started at Bobcat of Spartanburg, I worked at a place called Ferguson Enterprise. And I can't tell you how many plumbing orders I pulled for Doug Hinge's plumbers to send over to the neighborhood near Carolina Country Club.
That's amazing. That is funny. And you told me a story, Doug, about going over there and this is what I love about doing stuff like this. I didn't know that, but you told me something about going and really keeping people on the same page because you have situations, don't you, Doug? That's why you created the software.
Yeah, on occasion we, the homeowners they talk to several different builders and then they land on one and they can't keep track of who they said what to who. And it's the same thing when they go picking out their plumbing and lighting fixtures, they get overwhelmed. And so we said, we've got to set expectations up front so we all know what we're expecting, and then we can easily meet them because we have it documented. And
Yeah.
like Chip said, it just builds so much trust. And the relationship, usually before, it was always kind of a battle. It was like you're going to war with your customer because they're expecting this and expecting that. Well, if it's all laid out up front, there is never any discussion because it's in black and white and color.
That's
And,
right.
we would go to these, send our customers to pick their lighting out, for example, and we'd get a list back of just an itemized invoice, and you don't have any clue what they picked because we don't see any pictures. Well, now we have pictures of everything, so there is no question. And we've avoided tons of mistakes because Ferguson has shipped the wrong products at times, and they'd get installed, and we'd only find out too late.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fred probably remembers that.
And this is something
What, Fred?
as we were all talking, I wrote down technology can make the people business easier.
Yes.
Right? Everybody, it's
Mm.
easier to come to an understanding. You're on agreement in something. You're reaching the same goal and the same outcome, and it's trackable.
Folks, Fred, I love that. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We've got 8 great people in a box that all doing different things. When we have conversations, technology is making it easier to do what we all need to do: meet people, create relationships, get ideas, have energy. Vicki Watts, I would love to talk to you about what's going through your mind as you hear Doug's and the other comments. How would you apply getting on the same page in what you do?
With what I do, I think that you have to help people. I got really excited, Doug, when you started talking about your technology, because I think that to set a good expectation, you have to have a good visual. Otherwise everything is nebulous and nobody can really get on the same page if they don't have a visual of what is possible and what the options are. And then I was thinking about what Jim was saying about you certainly don't want to be at 30,000 feet or beyond and not know whether or not you can put the landing gear down. So I love the backstory. I like to understand company stories. What I do is I structure employee benefits packages for companies in the small to medium-sized space. I have got a background of about 14 years working with companies from 5,000 to 40,000 employees in project management. And I wanted to bring that into the small to medium-sized space because big brokers, big benefits companies, they focus on big companies. That's what they're looking for. And they'll take that business for smaller companies. But they're not geared to fit smaller companies, to work with them, to give them the level of service. They have an expectation that company is going to already have some things together that small to medium-sized companies don't often have together. And benefits is an acute, confusing environment.
It is.
Yep.
Vicki, I'm gonna ask Jim Carr, who's on the business, his dad on the business. He's thought about benefits probably a long time. He probably doesn't want to deal with benefits. What comes to your mind when you hear Vicki, what she's saying there? What comes to mind?
What comes to mind right now?
Yeah.
I have a 10:30 call with my benefits coordinator, and she's going to tell me that my annual premium's probably up 20%.
Going
Amazing.
I'm not looking forward to that call.
25.
Right, Vicki?
Hey,
Yeah, not looking forward to that call. Anyway, what was
I want to say, I mean, no one, if I was a business, I figured you'd say that. I don't want to deal with benefits, right? I mean, but we need good people, don't we, Jim? We need somebody that we trust that can explain to us the situation and that just give them the ball.
people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And that is the honest to God truth. If you don't feel trust with anybody, with a friend, with a business colleague, with a partner, a peer, a vendor, it's never, ever going to work. You've got to be as authentic as possible and just be honest. And, you know, why not be honest with your people? It's always going to, whether they want to hear the bad stuff or not, it's always in your best interest to be honest.
I agree, especially with this so much confusion in the world, right?
Yeah,
I
no kidding.
say the truth, pull back the curtain. We need to establish trust. Russ Hammond, I want to get your thoughts. I see thoughts rolling around in your head.
I was just thinking the whole thing about being honest and truthful and taking care of the customers and building relationships. A few months ago, my wife had to go to the emergency room, and I was there, and I got a text from one of my customers just asking, is everything okay? Because he saw my truck in the parking lot.
Wow.
And I mean, and his dad happened to be there too. So, we text back and forth, but it's all about building relationships. I care more about the people walking through the door, walking out happy than I do what they spent. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. Now, quick question. I know Jim's got a hard cutoff here.
I do, and I apologize.
After so many years, right, we all want new customers. How do we not forget about our current customers who have been good to us for so long?
Well, you've got to keep engaging with them. You've got to keep, if they truly are your good customer, then you have to set them aside and you have to put them in the top. I think you can compartmentalize your customers into 3 tiers: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1s are the ones that have been you for a long time. They pay their bills in net 30. They work with you when you have problems. They're not a pain in the ass. And then from there down, and honestly, the people in the third bucket are the ones that we should be really trying to get rid of, because they're probably more of a pain than any of the top ones that are, 10 times the revenue that in the third tier.
Yeah.
So
what does Chip think about that? Chip, do you have different customers that maybe I need more of those and less of those? Do you have that in your book of business?
Absolutely. I mean, we go by the, A customers, and if we've got B customers, how can we turn them into A customers? But I was in a sales and marketing for accounting professionals conference several months ago when we talked about this, and it was interesting. It was like, how can I get new clients? And the first step in getting new clients is taking good care of your existing clients.
Oh.
And that was how the meeting started. And so the suggestion there is client care calls. And this is for my particular industry. It's different for everybody, but you can't let the client think that you've forgotten about them.
Aaron Jacobitz can speak to that. I know what Aaron does with his team, and I love what y'all explain what you do with your business development reps.
Yeah.
You're muted.
Uh-oh.
I apologize. There was some background noise. So on my team, we rank our customers as well. And so those of you who know Brittany, who've met Brittany, she's one of our customer success folks. And so what she does is she takes our top customers, is she really builds on that relationship. And so when I look at it, the way the concept, if you will, that I have is really, I don't think customers all the time separate like sales, marketing, and service. Sales are a lot of the quote unquote new customers. Marketing is how do you build value to get those new customers, but then also, build the relationship with your current customers, and then the service that you provide. And really, to me, going back to the trust and the promise in your delivery, to me, it's like one brand, like it's one unit. And the thing that I've realized here at Refrigeration Heroes is that trust is the real sales or marketing or service accelerator. And without it, it all comes down to price, and price becomes the tiebreaker. And so I heard a quote a couple months ago from one of my mentors, and what they said, it goes like this: in the absence of trust, low price is everything. So I actually have a question for the rest of the panel, if I may. How do we build trust before, during, and after the sale to get the new customers, keep the customers that we have, and build so they become those tier 2 and tier 1 customers, and then especially after the sale? I'm very interested in everybody's thoughts.
Building trust. How do you build trust? Who wants to jump in?
You set expectations up front and then meet those expectations.
Yeah.
And you'll go far. like I say, whenever you have a good experience, that stays in the back of your mind for a long time because it's so rare anymore.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe in communication. For me, if I'm not talking to you, well, then it's almost like starting over. So I like the cadence of what y'all's team does, Aaron, of, hey, I want to talk to you before you're calling me with a problem. If I'm giving you access to get to me with whatever it is that you want to say, well, now I don't have a 911 that I'm taking care of.
And I know you and I, Daniel, have talked about this before. At Refrigeration Heroes, we don't really sell a widget, like I like to call it. I mean, we have a maintenance plan that's I guess like a product. But we're selling that we're here when you need us. And so that's the difference to me, kind of in the sales and the business development, where the business development is we're here, you have the equipment, right? It's going to break, and you're going to have to call somebody. So are we building enough trust that you trust us first, and we're the first, where we get the first opportunity?
Well, one of the things that we talked about, Vicki, did you have something?
I was just going to say too that, Aaron, that's so important, and picking up your phone. There's so many companies out there that you can't really get to anybody. So I think that the one thing that I know about my clients is that they know I'm going to pick up my phone. They know they can text me. They know that I will text back and say, hey, I'm in a meeting, or if I don't answer you, I am probably asleep. So because I'm going to answer my phone. And when people know that about you, that they know they can get to you, like what you said, Aaron, that's, especially in today's economy, that is a very big deal.
Yeah.
Well, Russ, please.
I would just say we need to get back to your word is your bond. You got to do what you say you're going to do. That's just all there is to it. If I say I'm going to do something, even if it costs me money, at the end of the day, I'm going to do it. You got my word.
Russ, can I add one thing to that?
Yep.
Doing what we say we're going to do long after the mood in which we said it has left.
Love that.
That's the key. When things are good, it's easy to do what we say. But when we don't feel like doing what it is we said we were going to do, that's the difference in your tier 3 customers and your tier 1 customers. That's how we get them to tier 1.
Right.
I love that. Be careful what you promise when you're feeling good, right? I mean, the truth is we need to, like, just to that point, we never want to be in a situation where we are not meeting an expectation. We want to be exceeding, right? We want to have that. Fred, talk about that in your business. You were telling me tell me how important it is for customer services. Somebody needs something. How soon do they need it in your world?
Oh, well, if they're running a piece of equipment for their livelihood, they need it pretty quick.
That's it. And
so
that's
they know if they reach out to me, kind of like Vicki, I'm going to go immediately to the service department, parts department, whichever avenue I need to take to try to get them the help the fastest. If it takes me delivering parts, picking up a machine, I've done it. It's, I think it's part of the service long after the sale. And then when you're trying to build trust, if I have somebody come in here and sit across from my desk and tell me what they're looking for, how they're going to use it, and I walk them outside to the yard and show them something that is obviously will not work for what they told me, then I wasn't listening, and I immediately lost trust.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Listening is a big deal. Listening is a way to show that we have trust. I'm curious about Chip, and I think accounting is a unique place. You're dealing with their money, and we don't. I mean, and it's very personal. And it's so I go in with Chip, and I've got to show him maybe I haven't done everything right, or maybe I've done it wrong. There's some vulnerability there. I would say building trust is an important deal for you. Can you speak to that through the years?
It is, but it starts. Building trust for us starts with that first Google search, because we get what we call social proof through Google reviews, through testimonials. So a lot of times when we have that first contact with a potential client, they already think we're trustworthy to some degree based on what they've read from others. I think then the second point is people have to open up their books to us, which is very personal. And in some cases, they may be embarrassed. that they haven't been taking care of things. And so, we're not judgmental about that because we've seen everything A to Z. And so it's just letting them know that and speaking to them in real terms, because we work in a technical field and a lot of clients don't really understand all the intricacies, which is fine, but you can't talk down to them and make them feel like you're going to take care of it and that they're going to be taken care of.
I like that. Any thoughts jumping out in anyone's mind before I take us into another topic?
I just wanted to say, Freddie said that he did not say that he sent them to service or he sent them over to find some parts. He walked them through it. And when you have a client that you value and they want to feel valued, that's why they're doing business with you, that you literally lead the way and make it as simple as you can for them. So
absolutely, and that's a big deal in your world, Vicki. If I'm dealing with you on mine, I mean, you want to simplify and have somebody that you trust that can take care of it and drive that bus. I want to just get y'all's thoughts. I think sometimes after a word is used for a very long time and we think about it, it kind of loses its punch, its meaning. And I think one of those words is networking. And so I want to go back to the very basics, and I want to ask you guys and ladies this question. Why do we network? When you think of networking, maybe that's the question. What do you think of as networking? What is networking? Are we networking now? And what is the ultimate goal of networking? And now we can be very, very honest here. We just, whatever comes to mind. Why do we network? Does anyone want to jump in and say what's on their mind?
Well, networking is drinking beer and eating bar nuts at the Ramada, isn't it?
What time?
You can network on the golf course when you're around people, right? It's a human network. We're around people. And so if whatever our goal is, if we want to find a romantic partner, well, then we need to go network and be around folks where we want to be in proximity to the people that can buy our goods and services. Right. Ultimately, we want to be in proximity to the people that can buy our goods and services, but we need information. So let me ask this, Vicki, tell me, hey, Russ put that hand up. I want to hear what that Russ had to say.
I just like to say that networking is building relationships, but it's also about, hey, you need a Bobcat? I know a guy. You need accounting? I know a guy. So it's also about helping people go in the right direction, getting them to someone they need. Refrigeration, I know a guy.
I got a guy.
Yeah, that's right. Vicki, what were you going to say?
Well, you said to be completely honest, that we were going to be completely honest here. So, yes. A little negativity is not a bad thing here in this space right now. So my 25-year-old self, when my first experience with networking, I was wowed. I went to a networking event in a well-known networking environment. And I was like, I can't believe it. These people were working together. My friend who took me there, she had a really great experience connecting at one of these networking events. And so I was like, wow, this is great, because this is what small businesses and people need, is a marketing team, right? Most of us are all small to medium-sized businesses. So we don't have necessarily always the budget for a marketing team. So having a networking group, a group of people that you know and trust and know you, they know what your business is about, what you do, and they're able to build a relationship with you to help open doors, and not just open them, but really walk you through them. I think that at the heart of what networking really should be is a collective genius, the collaboration, the relationships, and the understanding, intimate understanding of your business, not your 60-second commercial every week, or at the event where you got the beer and the nuts. It's something deeper, to be able to understand and really be that person's marketing team.
I love it. Who else wants to jump in here?
Look, may I add to that?
Yes.
So to me, I look at networking as almost like building your own ecosystem of value. And what I mean by that is this. A lot of times I hear, oh, I collected all these contacts. I got all these business cards, which is good. It's about that. But I think there's three pieces to it when it comes to networking. It's about connecting the dots between people. I think we'd all agree with that. Opportunities. I think we'd all agree with that. But in my opinion, we miss the value of that third piece, which are the ideas that come from that networking. As much as I enjoy this call here, right? The people that are on, what you do, that, but the ideas that you have inside and outside of your business, I think when we can wrap that around networking is going to make the biggest difference. The ideas that everybody has on here are not ideas that I have and possibly can have thought of or would think of, but because of this network, because of this proximity, because of the people that are on here, we have a chance to do that. So let's not miss that third piece.
Here's what I would say. Thank you, Aaron. That is the secret sauce, guys. For me, it's the energy that's created, right? So ideas, energy, marketing, sales, and relationships. It's all about proximity and energy, right? Who are you around and how are you connecting? So when we come into the hub and we start having conversations like this, we learn about ourselves. We think with all the different perspectives, we start to understand what it is that we're offering. And so ultimately, what does Doug need to do with his software? He needs to talk to home builders, doesn't he? That's who he's wanting to date, if you will, right? I need to be in the room. I need to be in close proximity to those folks that can use and benefit and appreciate our software. Chip's no different. He needs people, small business owners that have accounting. Vicky, same thing. Russ Hammond needs to be around people that have feet. Because if you have feet, you need boots. Fred, what are you thinking?
I have 2 feet, Russ.
I got plenty of boots.
And I've got some of your boots.
Yeah. So when we start having conversations like this, again, just what we get ideas, and we get a lot of those ideas about how can we collaborate? What information does each of these human beings that I'm forming this relationship with, what information do they have? Maybe it's related to what they do, but maybe it's something else and so that's why understanding who they are as a human being and opportunities like this, we're not just talking about accounting. We're not just talking about HVAC. We are full-fledged human beings that have a lot of experience doing a lot of different things. And when we can come together and leverage all of that experience, man, that's now we're starting to build a real team that can be collaborative and strategic.
Do you think networking has had a bad rap in the past few years? Do you think it got mundane and hey, you want to go to this networking event? Somebody may would roll their eyes like, oh my gosh, you really want me to come over there for a networking event? Mm-hmm. Stand around the room with people I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I feel like
how do we change that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm gonna let Doug get in here.
I was thinking, I'm not a big networking person, but I was invited to a networking situation over in Greenville, and there were 50 or some people in that room. And I walked out of it, I made a few connections, but the few connections I made, I had built trust with right off the bat. And it's kind of like this group right here. I feel confident that I could refer any one of you and I could stand behind you. And you can't do that. It's hard to refer people anymore because you just don't ever know. But when you can refer somebody, man, that just escalates you on the ladder big time.
See, and this is what I wanted to say. And we're kind of doing it with the walls down, right? We're all in here. If somebody wants to watch, well, then we hope that we're building trust for them too. Yeah. We want to show that we're logical human beings, that we understand that there's all sorts of things that go into buying decisions. There's all sorts of things in the way that folks evaluate. But as business owners, especially ones that have things that goods and services and things, we've got to be seen. We need attention. We need to meet people. we don't necessarily need to go and talk to folks just to socialize. That's important sometimes, but other times we need to kind of bring in the right people. So I think about proximity and kind of adding the right ingredients, the right people, the right collaborators. And sometimes when we're not niche down, when we're not, now I know Chip was telling me about an accounting group that he was a part of, and he got a lot of value out of that. But sometimes in order to do our sales and marketing, we need a different type of networking. We need information and collaborative partners to help us get into rooms, don't we? Vicki, what comes to mind through your experience trying to get in front of business owners? Why is it so hard to get in front of business owners?
Because sometimes they've got a lot of noise, especially in my industry. There's a lot of noise, people showing up at the office, people. A client of mine once said, yeah, they're in here all the time, benefit sellers. So they want to sell something. And ultimately that's going to happen, right? We're all going to sell something. That's what we're doing. Doug has a great opportunity for this software, which I'm very excited about. He's got me thinking about my reticular activators going off, going, oh, I know some people that should know. It's an automatic thing, but you want people to speak highly of you in rooms that you're not even in, right? And in order to do that, in order to collaborate with people and have that sort of relationship, they've got to know you, who you are, what you're about, and that it makes them feel safe, comfortable.
Right. So let's think about this. I'm sorry, I just started thinking this through. So let's just say a home builder, well, he's got accounting, he's got boots, he's got compact construction equipment. Shoot, he might have a kitchen at the office that he needs some work on, right? So then how can we create a room that's a good room for all of us, right? We're going to serve the small business owner. Maybe it's a landscape company, maybe it's this guy. But see, now I call that raking leaves, right? Doug needs a group of people because he's got something that can serve. Maybe it's not going to serve all of them, but man, some of them need to hurt something. Okay, well, hey, guess who else needs to talk to those folks, right? I need everybody that needs it, grab a rake. We're going to rake them together. We're going to energize that room. We're going to exchange information. We're going to have a camera on the entire situation, right? Because we want to create proximity. We want to have the right energy, and we want to get the good information. Because with that energy, we're growing, we're connecting, and we're marketing and business development, right?
I think one of the most powerful things you said is we want to get the good information. And I think that's the hardest thing in a networking, typical networking environment. But you can't get to everybody. You're going to get to a few who you get the good information that you felt comfortable about, like Doug said. So you can create an environment like this, or where you've got a camera on it that really catches those moments that were powerful. And then that's where the focus needs to be, on that powerful moment that you uncovered for somebody. So
absolutely. Yeah. And we miss those moments sometimes. I'm sure Chip's got a great team. Sometimes it's like, man, we're talking about what we want to do, and there's passion, and we're connected, and and then the camera comes on, and then we lose that energy. Maybe it feels forced, let's say. Yeah. So what I want to do is create an environment where we can just be ourselves, right? The camera's on, but we're just talking about who we want to serve, who we want to work with, and the real issues that we come up against. Man, this is my frustration. This is man, if I could just, if Chip probably has a customer avatar that he loves to work with, that he knows that he can help them. And if that person knew Chip and was in the same room with him, and when Chip tried to talk to him, he didn't do like this, yep. But then they would probably do business together, right? I mean,
absolutely.
So we need to find folks, and we do that by getting to know each other, learning our strengths, talents, and abilities, learning who Fred likes to work with, learning who Russ likes to work with, all different parts. It's very often in networking groups, in my experience, it's too everything is too regimented. We need energy. We need ideas. We need to try things. We need to bring people in. We need to always be thinking, how can we keep the energy up?
And I think that's where the true, when you talk about collaboration, like we did earlier a few minutes ago, I think that's where Vicky's idea becomes our impact, right? That's to me where it is. And I think that when you go into networking and you're worried about who the contacts are, and we have a lot of ways in today's business, in today's sales, business development, marketing, there's a lot of ways to get a stack of contacts. Okay. But there's not as many ways to get the ideas from those contacts. And so I think when you go into networking, like I mentioned earlier about, what are the ideas, but then taking those ideas and making it an our impact, that's where, to me, the true collaboration comes in, to speak to what you were talking about, Daniel.
I love that. I love that. So let's think about, let's take one of the issues here. We've got Doug here. He's looked at marketing. What's been your experience with the marketing world, Doug, and how to get your product out there? Tell us about your experience.
Well, it's been interesting. I've been talking to multiple marketing companies, and they'll all promise you the world, and they're wanting want you to write a big check, and I'm like, okay, well, what can you guarantee me for that? And then they're like, well, it's marketing. You just never know what you're going to get. And I'm like, everybody else sitting here, what you're going to give your customers, and you can put it in black and white and say, here's what I'm going to commit to. Well, marketing, that world doesn't exist. So that's been a big challenge of mine, to find somebody that I can honestly trust that, if I'm going to write that check, I'm going to get a return.
Well, we see a lot of client financial statements in the business I'm in, and I've seen a lot of money lit on fire for the sake of marketing.
Right.
It's gone.
Yeah. And I think sometimes I'm learning more and more. I've always been the sales guy, but oftentimes sales and marketing, it's a lot of humans. It's a lot of psychology. So I'm learning more about the marketing side. I can't believe it. I cannot believe some of the numbers that are being paid to get eyeballs. Not a good conversation. Because, man, I can have 100 eyeballs, or I can have one good conversation. I mean, and then now I know this person. If I call this person wants to help me, instead of just, some type of subtle mental seed that's been planted.
Yeah, turning the eyeballs into conversations.
That's right. Hey, how about this? Trust is transferable, right? So if Freddie trusts me, and I say, Freddie, man, you've got to talk to Russ Hammond. He's got the best boots that money can buy, or whatever the case might be. He's going to trust Russ because he trusts me.
Yep.
So, but that's why it's so important in these groups as well. See, if you're paying for a paywall and you're just paying to be a part of the group, well, you kind of got to tell them that this guy's good, right? I want to know this person. And that way, when I recommend him, hey, Doug's been doing this a long time. He's a great guy. He's been right. I can speak authentically. That's important for me.
Yeah. Sincerity.
Yeah.
Vicky is 100% right about turning the eyeballs into the production. But really, and I live this firsthand with what we do, because it's not just the eyeballs, but it's the right eyeballs, because we do no residential. So we're commercial only. Well, when you see Refrigeration Heroes, I have to be careful what my market spend is and the efforts that we make, because I don't want to spend resources on something that could produce residential leads.
Right.
They need service. They think we're going to do it. And we have to tell them that we don't do that. So I get pitched all different types of things about all these outside marketing. And most of them, if you do residential, would probably be a very good idea, but we don't. And I can't bog down my service ops and my dispatch teams with all these calls coming in, and then having to tell these people, I'm sorry, we can't help, when they obviously need help. So I think it is the eyeballs, Vicky. I 100% agree, but it's how do you get the right eyeballs?
You're absolutely right, because I have people that I know very well that have known me, and I have to differentiate. I'm like, okay, so they called me about this situation, and they've sent people that they know that are their friends to me also, because they say Vicky's going to know the answer. I am going to know the answer. You know, I mean, hopefully I know the answer, but I'm pretty sure I've been doing this for a long time. And they know that, hey, insurance is confusing. My major medical, I don't know why this, all these things. And they call me. I could spend all of my time, Aaron, to your point, answering individual questions for people. But what I do is employee benefits. I build benefits packages for companies who have employees. And if I'm not spending time talking to my client, people that can be clients of mine and their employees, then the eyes are in the wrong place. My time is spent in places that can't benefit me or the people that trust me to benefit them.
Hey, Vicki, my question is, sorry.
Oh.
I was saying, then you have a business owner with 50 employees who's staring these increases and who needs some advice and some consultative service, but
Right.
you don't, your time capacity is being spent here when really that business owner is the one that really needs what it is that you provide. So go ahead, Daniel. I'm sorry.
I wanted to know if Vicki had her insurance license in the state of Illinois.
Yes.
You need to call Mr. Jim Carr.
Okay.
You just met him and share what you know for him. And here's why I would say that. I know Jim and I know Vicki, and I would be doing a disservice if I didn't mention that to Jim, right? And connect those dots. Whether he does business with Vicki or not, that would be obviously completely up to him. But once I believe someone's good at something, I get passionate about it. Don't you, Fred?
Yeah. Well, the deal is proximity and collaboration is a new style of marketing.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's where I want to go with this, folks, right? We're all coming together. We make we're live on LinkedIn. We're live on all of Freddie's channels right now. We're going to have marketing clips from this conversation. This has been great. This is exactly why I wanted to do this. I wanted to talk to great people, great perspectives, ideas like Mr. Jacobitz says. But beyond that, folks, we can collaborate. We can do things here in Spartanburg. We can have field trips, right? I want to get together, go places, pull out the camera, edit a little bit, make a little commercial.
So would that be the literal energy bus?
Yes.
I mean, we would, in living color. Yes. I like it.
Right.
I have literally thought, how fun would it be, folks, to have something called the Energy Bus, where you have some people on there. Hey, it's the small business, team, right? Hey, if you're a small business owner and you see the Energy Bus and it's got Vicki Watts and Chip Keller, boy, come on, man, you need to get out there and talk to them.
Yeah. Right. I think with Chip, the reason I know Chip today is because of a event that you did. Daniel, the reason I know him, I was able to meet him through somebody that was there. She said, you should meet him.
I'm here because of networking. Yeah,
exactly. And I thought, my goodness, if I'm Keller, the Keller Group, and I know that someone is this good with benefits, I think we need to meet each other, right? I mean, so this has been fantastic. Obviously, we all know each other. To Doug's point earlier, we all know each other now. I've got lots of ideas and things that we can do as a group. And here's the thing: the folks that want to plug into the Energy Hub, they can plug in, and we will get that energy, and we'll use that energy to market, to business develop, and to do other things. Fred Blanton, you always have the final thoughts on First Sip. Do you have a final thought for this too?
I can't take the very first final thought on the Energy Hub.
Does anybody have
a your baby?
Yeah. Hey, I want to thank everybody that came today and participated. This has been a lot of fun for me and something that I think can be very effective moving forward. So thanks again and have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.